Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video and strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for yet another delicious Rangers rumour as we've discussed a goalie, we've discussed an attacking midfielder, both players I'm expecting to be Rangers players when it's all said and done, when the old summer transfer window shenanigans begins. And now we move on to someone else I believe will be at the football club very, very soon, and that is none other than a defender. And aye, we need those. But as always here, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't just sit here and sort of reflect and maybe read a stat line here or there. We like to go a wee bit deeper. We like to see everything there is to see about this rumour and discuss what impact it could have on the club. What does it change? Whose position does it threatens? That's going to be an interesting one right there. So ladies and gentlemen, before we get lost on whether or not we believe this rumour to be true, let's go ahead and actually find out if it is. And whilst we go ahead and do that, by the way, if you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be absolutely sensational. We have now reached over 58,000 subscribers. We truly are on our way to 60k, so if we continue to keep smashing that like button and subscribing if you're new around here, the 60k almost myth that's almost taunted us over the last little while, people. Well, we may actually defeat that monster very, very soon. But if you want to wait to see if this video is worth hitting a like for, that's completely fine. Let's go ahead and try and earn that like then, shall we? And as always, we'll start the video off by looking at the player profile, and we are linked with Sterling to Rangers from Chelsea. Is it wee dinosaur running Raheem? No, people, it's Mr. Dujon Sterling, who is a 23-year-old English fullback who's progressed over the last 15 years, all the way through every age group, every age level, all the way up to Chelsea's squad, where not only was he just there in the background and there as a player, he was actually highly tipped and highly thought of as being a guy at Chelsea. More on that later. But regarding the player himself, he stands at 6'1". He's a big physical lad who gets up and doing either wing, and that'll come pretty clear as you actually watch today's video. Do you remember when we were talking about Kieran Dill and we talked about how he's played pretty much everywhere in the middle of the park? Well, that's like this laddie, but it's not just anywhere in defence. He's also played almost everywhere in the middle of the park as well. This guy is versatility in one jar of 6 foot mustard, if you will, people. If you know, you know. He gets there, he's big, he's physical, and he throws himself about. And you know, there's a name, like when I was watching this guy, because I didn't like to just jump on the things, I like to take a bit of time, look into it, see what I can see and everything like that. And one thing that really noticed about this laddie is this guy loves the physicality side of the game. This isn't a fullback, if you will, who will like to go forward and not really like to do the hard graft. No, he actually relishes the hard graft, and just the way he throws himself into tackles and throws himself into 50-50s with almost a reckless abandonment, it really reminds me of a certain John Flanagan. And no, I'm not trying to worry anyone, because I'm not saying he's going to be the exact same type of player as Flanagan actually was for Rangers, but you know how John Flanagan, if the ball was there, he's coming in and taking it, and if there's a man there, oh no, that's a shame for him. That's the same type of mentality that I've seen for Sterling, and everything I can see for this laddie. He is all go all of the time. There'll be no pulling out of 50-50s or getting scared or flinching out of tackles. If the ball's there, the big man will throw himself into it. And to give you maybe a wee bit more happier comparison rather than John Flanagan, because I can imagine everybody's just hit the panic button right now, I would say he's more Calvin Bassey than he is the likes of Tavernier, who again is the current right back at this football club, where Sterling is primarily a right back. I wouldn't say he's a Tav clone, or he could ever be a Tavernier, because Tavernier's got such a unique skill set, and we know where his strengths are and he knows where his weaknesses are. But for Sterling, I'd say he's a lot more balanced in that department. And again, I would actually argue he's more defensive minded than actually going forward, and that takes me back to early season of Calvin Bassey. Remember, everyone went, he's brilliant at the back, but he's not quite as sharp going forward as a Barisic at that time. Well, Sterling really reminds me of that, because he's so defensively strong and so defensively minded that sometimes his attacking side of the game does let him down. And for me, that would be an interesting area for Rangers, and it does bring this one to be a very interesting one, because we know how we play, we know our style of play, fullbacks bombing forward, and again, maybe that freedom will unshackle him and allow him to that. But for me, this is an absolute animal who relishes defending, so it's going to be very interesting to see how he fits in to the old Rangers squad. And the fitting in department might not only be right back, and again we'll speak about that over the next couple of minutes, because I'll just give you the plot points. He's big, he's powerful, he's strong, and the guy loves to get stuck in. And I think that's all you really need to know about Sterling's player profile. This was a guy who was tipped for the very top. I mean, gone through just the mountains of reading I've had today for this laddie. They talked him up high. He was a better prospect than Reece James, and we know how Reece James has went on to actually do. But unfortunately for Sterling, injury and a mysterious illness has really impacted this lad's career, where it started to stall over the last couple of years. When he was prime, when he was ready, it all got took away from him through the first wave of COVID-19, where he did get that mystery illness. And I'm not sitting here doing anything, or I'm not trying to say anything. That's all that's listed is this laddie lost a lot of time in his footballing career due to this mysterious illness that they never ever go into. They never give you any details. All we know, it was career threatening, and the lad's actually done tremendously well to bounce back from that and get back to picking up his career over the last couple of years. So congratulations to him for that. But aye, this was a laddie who's got a lot of pedigree. And looking around, because I always say fans will tell you more about your football club than a scouting report or anything like that. Watch, they're looking at stats, and this is one of the few players that I've ever seen and I've ever looked at this channel, that when I look at this lad and see what fans are saying about him, what people are actually writing about him, the ins that support the football club and watch the football club, everybody wants the best for this lad. He's just been really unlucky with the injuries at certain times. It stopped him from taking that next step up after a promising pre-season under Tuchel, when he was expected to this wee nibbles here or there, and he's ended up coming away and maybe falling behind the likes of Reece James, who exploded at the traps and is absolutely his stone one. But aye, this isn't a player that's going to be joining or leaving a Chelsea with people mocking him or that. There'll be people wanting the best for this laddie, and that's the type of character you want to see and the type of player, because everything I can see when he's on the park, he's a player. But aye, is everyone else ignoring everything I'm saying, and they're just hearing that word injuries again, and you're starting to hint to yourself, oh, here we go, man, another boy that's injury prone. Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to bring you that news early on the young laddie's career, and as we transition into the old players' stats, never flat in the old footballing TV, you'll see that, and that'll start to become a bit more clearer. So let's go ahead and do that then, shall we? Looking at his most recent season, which has actually been on loan from Chelsea to Stoke Down in the Championship. He has played a total of 28 games in all competitions, picking up just 2 yellow cards, which was a real surprise after seeing the way he goes in. But it's the timing of these challenges. He's not a dirty player or anything. He's just a full-blooded player that goes in and does his business. If he's up against a winger, he likes to let him know early he is in for a game, and 9 times out of 10 that winger thinks, I'm probably just going to go centrally and everything. That's what I've been able to find on the laddie. But he's played 28 times in total this season for Stoke. He's actually missed 9 games in total for Stoke this season, 6 of them being from a groin injury, which is just sort of part and parcel with the game. I wouldn't put too many blinkers and worries on that. So the big injuries obviously in his career actually came the season before at Blackpool, where he ended up getting his ankle damaged and everything like that, and hurt his ligaments there, and ended up missing the end of the season. But again, that's only the real main injury, and that's the only real footballing injury that's listed. An ankle injury, he's hurt his groin this season, and of course the mystery illness that we don't get any more information in during the first batch of COVID-19. But pulling it back to this season's stats and looking in and focusing in at his time at Stoke, we did mention no goals and an assist, again showing you he's not really the Tavernier type of player, but what he has been able to bring when he's been able to get on the park for Stoke is something they've not had a lot of this season, and that is defensive stability, people, because Stoke has been struggling all season long. And I think if you look at the laddie and his loan that he's had at Stoke, it's been a real learning experience for him, and he's had to grow up real quick, ladies and gentlemen, as he's played multiple positions. He's played right back, which again is primarily position. He's played left back, which I think is going to be a very interesting position when he pulls on the Rangers shirt. But he's also played centre half, right? That in itself would be nuts to look at. This young lad, he's playing right back, left back, centre back. By God, well, he's also played right mid a large majority of the time this season, and left mid. The boy's everywhere. And that's probably down to the fact that, again, he is so balanced and he can bring you so many different things. He maybe doesn't excel in one area going forward, but he brings that defensive stability and that defensive attitude, and that's been badly needed in Stoke as they've been fighting relegation this season. But aye, that's his most recent season at Stoke. Again, he's been played pretty much everywhere. He's not really been given an opportunity to really settle, but again, despite being played numerous positions and right mid and left mid several times this season, every match report, everything you read about the laddie, they're all praising him and thankful he's been there. But you know, we like to go a wee bit deeper here on the old channel, so not even just looking at this season or even last season when he was at Blackpool again playing a similar amount of games before picking up that ankle injury. Let's take a step back and look at his entire footballing career just at the highest level. No reserve league, no youth football, no youth cups. We take all them out and just look at the top level. When he's played at the highest level that man can play, he's played a total of 113 times at the age of 23, which is actually not too bad, and it's probably one of those things you look at and say, oh, I thought it'd all been youth games. No, he spent a large majority of his time down at the Championship and some at League One. So he's got pedigree, he's got minutes under his belt. But what he hasn't got is a lot of goals, again, as you can imagine. As he has just 7 goals and 10 assists to his name, probably telling you the exact type of fullback he is. Again, defensive minded. He also has 10 yellow cards as well, which is more impressive to me than the numbers in terms of the goals and assists, because I've seen this laddie how aggressively he plays defence. The fact that he's only been booked 10 times in the 113 games he's played is an absolute miracle, people. Gives me confidence to say, right, that laddie can time his challenges. So that's Santi Luca. He's actually never been sent off in his professional career. He did pick up 2 yellow cards in a youth game or a reserve league game, but that's irrelevant when you want to talk about the highest level and you want to potentially play for the likes of Rangers. So that's irrelevant to me. He's never actually been sent off at his professional career at the highest level. Something I imagine will change very quickly once he meets Kevin Clancy with these full body challenges the boy likes today. That's really all I've got to say regarding the numbers and stats. Again, we've discussed his output on the park, what type of player he is, his injury history over the last 2 seasons, picking up 1 ankle injury in his season at Blackpool, and of course his most recent season, which was just a couple games due to a groin injury. Nothing too drastic just there, people, but again, he's been used in so many positions. What position could he play for us? And that leads us to the most obvious talking point. When you're linked with naturally a right back with a big reputation who has worked with Michael Beale before at Chelsea's academy as well, by the way, what does that mean for Tavernier? Is this the Tavernier replacement? Is this Tavernier in trouble? Is Tavernier gone in the summer? All that's a bit nonsense to me. Again, I think Tavernier brings such an important asset to this Rangers squad. I think you need to build round the likes of Tav because his output is sensational. What's it, 5 team of the years now in a row he's made? He's a phenomenal player, and I think the likes of Sterling could push this lad on, because for me, I think the best overall Tavernier's ever played. Again, he's great going forward and everything like that, but the best overall he's played is when Nathan Patterson was nipping at his heels that season. And I think this is a smart bit of business for Rangers and Michael Beale, who again's worked with the young laddie before, bringing him in here, knowing what he's about and knowing this laddie puts himself about and can really put a mark on doing, especially in the Scottish game where physicality again shines through, if you will. So I can imagine he'll push Tavernier on and get the games here or there, etc. But what I wouldn't be surprised in is to see him maybe used at the other side at left back as well, because again, he spent a lot of his career at left back as well, played a lot of games at left back, and with that position so uncertain right now and everything up in the air with the likes of the Ridvan, who again I want to be a success, I think he will be a success if he's given a chance to be a success. But Barisic, I'm not wanting another year of that, so could Sterling fill in and cover those exact same 2 roles at the same time? I think so, people, and for me that makes this team significantly stronger defensively. And hell, it might be another Bassey situation where the boy ends up getting played at centre half. Knowing what we like with injuries, he'll probably get a couple games there as well. So that's it regarding the all competition for places in the Tavernier conversation I'm seeing online. I think it's nonsense to suggest that Sterling's here to replace a Tavernier or going to move Tavernier out of the club. It's a bit premature in that. He's a young laddie, still raw in a lot of areas. He's certainly no the finished product, but after a year or 2 playing for us, could he really kick on and really become the player a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, thought he could be before that illness and before his couple of injuries? He could be, ladies and gentlemen. So for me, this is one of these ones I look at and say, for a free transfer, this is an absolute no-brainer. If we get this over the line, it's an absolute steal in my personal opinion, as it helps us in a couple areas that we badly need. Fullbacks, ladies and gentlemen, that can defend. And aye, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. All that's left to do is obviously go to the Rangers rumour and whether or not I believe this rumour to be true. Yes, I do, ladies and gentlemen, and just like the other ones I've spoke to, even though it's went quiet over the last little while, it's probably because they're actually done, people, and they'll be announced very, very shortly when the season ends. And I feel like I'm going to see this lad in a Rangers shirt next season. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. What is your thoughts on Sterling? Do you want the laddie into the football club? Do you think he can be a player? And where do you see him actually playing? Again, he's played right back, centre back, left back, right mid, left mid, all throughout his career? Where will he fit into Rangers in your personal opinion? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Any more news and any more real transfer news, we'll obviously discuss it right here on the channel. But until next time, I've been Siege and Over 92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best and bye bye.